Hey, two people. Hi, two people. Thank you for the 2 thumbs up. Who are you two people? Hi, wake up. How are you? I haven't seen you in a while. Where you been? Hi, 5 people. Hi, Zelda. How are you? I know I go from rags to riches. Remember Tony Bennett? How are you guys doing? Hey, 5 people. Whoever didn't hit the thumbs up, could you do it, or thumbs down, whichever? I'm blessed. I've been here, just busy chats. Okay, cool. Whenever I see your name, I think of wake up, little Susie, wake up. Oh, thanks, wake up. That's just a bunch of Dollar Tree flowers, except for the really big orange, rusty looking leaves. Those are from Hobby Lobby. Hi, Carol. You're binge watching Black Rabbit. I started watching it last night, and I got kind of bored. Does it get, was it a little bit slow for you in the beginning? Not the very beginning, but like probably the first hour and a half. You have a broken neck? Oh my Lord, how'd you do that? Carol, did you watch The Summer I Turned Pretty? Oh man, that was such a good series. Hi, 8 people. Come on in, hit the thumbs up or thumbs down, whatever you want. How the heck did you break your neck? Did you have to have surgery? Hi, 6 people. Fell August 2nd, trauma center for a week. How did you, did you fall off a ladder or something? Wow, you were in the trauma center for a week? Were you knocked out? No surgery yet? You mean you might have to have surgery? You need to tell us what happened. Are you kidding me, Zelda? Are you kidding me? You fell asleep on your toilet? Zelda, were you having stomach issues? Were you just exhausted? So you were on your toilet, trying to envision this. You're on your toilet, you fell asleep. So you must have been there for a while. And you fell asleep so hard that you just toppled over. And did your neck get in between something? Was it like in between the tub and the toilet or something? I bet you not many people, when they hear how you did it, are thinking, huh, she fell off the toilet. You're lucky you didn't break your neck. I mean, God forbid, really did damage to yourself. More than just breaking your neck. You know what I'm saying? Wow. That's something. Hi, pet nanny. How are you? Good to see you again. I was overtired and I fell asleep. You've been up 20 hours. You were up 20 hours freeze drying strawberries? Do you have a business, Zelda, that you sell your frozen strawberries? I have not yet. Black Rabbit is slow at first. I am a Jason Bateman fan and I'm enjoying it. Oh, I like him too. My boys are going to watch it too. Yeah, the bathroom is the number one place people fall. I've posted a few videos on my TikTok and YouTube channel. What's the name of your channel? Is it just Zelda Riches to Rags, just like what it says here? I'll have to go look. You work in an assisted living, people get hurt there a lot. Yeah, getting in and out of the tub. Well, you know what? When I use that oil of Olay, the soap, well, that soap is so slippery when it hits the tub. I have to be very careful. Yep, sharp corners, hard surfaces, yep. I remember one time, it just made me think of when Josh and Jeremy were little. I think Jeremy was like maybe 4th grade, maybe 3rd grade. 3rd, 2nd, no, he had to be old, 4th grade. Well, anyway, the boys used to take a shower together because we only had one bathroom. So they were it was a school night, and Jason was in his room doing homework. Tanya was doing homework, and Daisha was just little. She was in a car seat, actually. And I had a Volkswagen. Not a Volkswagen bus, but a Volkswagen. The small, the Beetle. Keep that in mind. Mark was working swing shift, okay? So he was working 3 to midnight. So it was just me. So I'm out in the den. All of a sudden, Jeremy comes running out naked, soaking wet. Mom, Josh is bleeding. He's bleeding bad. Mom, hurry up. I'm thinking, oh, dear God. I go in. He's leaning over the tub, and blood's just pouring out of his chin. I mean, pouring. I'm thinking, oh, dear God. And I'm trying to keep my wits about me. And I'm thinking, okay. I go, Josh, I said, I need to see what's going on. Oh, my God, Mama. He's crying. Well, his chin was hanging open. So I yelled for the kids. I go, you guys, come on. We got to go to the emergency room. Jason was in his first year because the junior high and the high school were together, okay? He and Tanya was in junior high. Jeremy and Josh were in elementary, and Daisha was still little. I had to get every one of them in that Volkswagen Beetle. We had to go to the emergency room. I'm telling the kids, because I had a towel, I said, keep that holding up on his chin. So all the other kids, we had to wait, and I thought, my God, how much longer do we have to wait? So finally we get in the back, they take him in. They said I could go back with him. So the other older ones watched the younger ones. So they had him on the bed, and they had the light down, and when I could really see, I could see the fat from his chin, the yellow. I thought I was going to faint. I went, oh God, I'm checking out. Someone help me. I started getting into a cold sweat, and Josh is going, Mom, hold my hand. So I'm holding his hand as I'm slipping down the wall, because I knew if I didn't, I was going to faint. So I'm holding his hand, sitting on the floor in the emergency room while they stitch him up. What he was doing, they were playing superheroes. And he was on the ledge of the tub while they were taking a shower. Well, it was slippery. And he got up, he had a towel around him like a cape. And he fell, and when he fell and his chin hit the ledge of the tub. That was another fun night. We were in the emergency room for about 3 hours, getting all those kids in that Volkswagen. Unbelievable. So that was my story. You went to a special rehab center and was diagnosed with COVID isolation for 10 days. You mean when this just happened? On the 2nd of August? Yeah, Pet Nanny, the ledge of the bathtub. Can you believe that? So, I mean, here he is bleeding profusely, right? Because the head always bleeds a lot anyway. And I'm trying to get him dressed because he's naked. He's in the shower. So I'm trying to dry him off, holding up his chin, getting pajamas on him, telling Jeremy to go get dressed, getting the other kids wrangled up to get them into the Volkswagen. Oh, God. Yeah. What are you guys going to do for the weekend here at Assisted Living Isolation for 5 days? What do you mean if someone gets COVID, they're isolated for 5 days, Pet Nanny? Head wounds are vascular and bleed a lot. I snapped my neck back. I snapped my neck back and had a concussion. Thank God it wasn't I know, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I was thinking. Thank God I wasn't paralyzed too much, but the feeling is coming back. Yes, they're isolated. So, wait a minute, Zelda. So you were, when it first happened, you couldn't feel things? And are they going to have to do surgery, do you think? And if they are, why? Why do they have to do that? Hi, 7 people. Come on in. Why are they going to have to do that, maybe? Oh, you poor thing. So you probably have a hard neck brace on? They put you in isolation more than a few days. God, that had to be a terrible thing to go through. So where do you sell your strawberries? You freeze dry them. Is that your business or is that a side job? Yeah, for sure keep that neck brace because God forbid. Because I know with Ozzy Osbourne, when he had that terrible accident, on the, oh, what do you call it, that he was riding in England? I can't remember, but anyway, after he had done that damage, he was getting up to go to the bathroom, and I can't remember if he was going or coming back, but whatever. He fell, and I think he hit the side table or something, and he really did damage again to his neck. He didn't have his brace on. You've got to wear that brace all the time, Zelda. I know it has to be so uncomfortable, but I'd rather you be uncomfortable than to have any more damage done to your neck. I'm going to the trauma doctor and get more x-rays. If it isn't healing well, then I have to have surgery. So will they have to, you mean, so the spine, if the spine or whatever it is, doesn't heal where it's adhering back the way it should, then they're going to have to put a rod in? Pet Nanny wants to know, do you have a hard neck brace or a soft one? I think Ozzy had a hard one at first, but I'm not sure. Thank you, everyone, for the thumbs up. I have 8 watching and 8 thumbs up. Yes, Carol. Hi, Carol. We're praying for good old Zell. Zelda, are you in the States? What are you guys going to do for the weekend? I know Zelda can't do a whole lot. We got the barbecue for you guys that knew about my experience with the barbecue. But I think we're gonna go ahead and put it in ourselves. I'm not sure what he wants to do yet, but it's in the garage. Okay, Pet. You're in an elevator. You're in an elevator? Oh, Pet's in an elevator. So I don't know if we'll get it done this weekend. I'm not sure. I don't think it'll be that hard. I mean, he took out the original one. Well, actually, he didn't take out the whole barbecue. He just took out the guts of it. The actual body's still there. I don't know what it's going to take to get the body out. I don't know if it's screwed in because it's a drop down. It's got a built-in around it. I cannot wait to have barbecue chicken. You guys, I've been without, it's been since COVID. I was thinking back how long it's been. It's been since COVID. And I used to barbecue all the time. I mean, at least 3 times a week. I mean, my meat, I always barbecued. Tri-tip, steaks, chicken, vegetables, baked potatoes, pizza, romaine lettuce. Oh, you're out in the country and no trick-or-treaters. But you know what? I haven't had trick-or-treaters for so long. All the kids around here are grown and they've moved on, have kids of their own. Hi, Thrifty Treasure Trove. How are you? What's new and exciting in your world? Your auction's tomorrow, right? It wasn't tonight. You're having it tomorrow, or is it tomorrow or Sunday? You're having a cheeseburger, Carol? I do too, Zelda. I love marinated tri-tip. It's Sunday. Okay. I love chicken. I love making all kinds of stuff on the barbecue. I like making my own barbecue sauce. Baked potatoes are so good on the barbecue. Oh my gosh. It just has a different flavor. Hamburgers taste better. Hot dogs taste better. You know? I can't wait to get that thing. Oh, and I love corn on the cob on the barbecue. And you know what I do? Okay. I soak. Okay. First, I take the silk out of the. I don't take off the. What am I? Come on. The. Not the skin. You know what I mean. I take out the silk of it, but I keep the rest of it, and then I soak it in a pot for about an hour. And then you can tie it with, string that you tie like a roast with. And I put that on the barbecue. And not on the real high fire, but kind of, back a little bit. And then the baked potato, you can put that in foil if you want. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just cover them with olive oil, let them be. Or I put them in aluminum foil with olive oil, salt, and pepper, and let them cook like that. Then you put your meat in later. Oh, Brussels sprouts are so good grilled. And Carol, I make the balsamic like I told you guys the other day, where I render it with the butter. The bunder. You'll learn to talk, love, eventually, Daveda. Yeah, I put butter and balsamic vinegar. Butter and balsamic vinegar. And I render it down until it's thick. You can use that. I use it for my chicken instead of barbecue sauce sometimes. But it's so good on Brussels sprouts. Me too. That's what I do, Zelda. They're so good. You're back driving now? Okay, pet. So I do all of my dinner a lot of times on the barbecue. Because it hardly ever rains here, so I barbecue all year long. And I haven't had that for so many years. First thing I'm doing, as soon as that sucker's in there and I know it's ready to fire up, I'm gonna go get, because see, when I'm making chicken in the house, when I pound it and I make lemon chicken, I do that without the skin. When I barbecue, I use the skin because the skin keeps it a lot moister, when you're barbecuing. So I get breast with skin for barbecuing. In the house, I get skinless. What's your guys' favorite thing to barbecue? And you can barbecue watermelon. It's all so good. We used to live in Timona, the country estates, in the early 80s. Nice. Oh, I love shish kebab. What do you put in on your shish kebab? I used to put onion, tomato, and marinated beef chunks, mushrooms, and it depended on what mood I was in as far as the marinade, but I would marinate them for like 3 and 4 hours, sometimes overnight. And chicken, you can put chicken. I put chicken and pineapple, green bell pepper, and then put it on rice. Make a nice sauce with soy sauce, rice vinegar, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of sesame oil. I want to make some more hummus. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the hummus, and then I'm going to chop and puree some cilantro. I got to get more cilantro. Cilantro and some jalapeno with some olive oil and maybe a clove of garlic. And then after the hummus is done, I'll put some of that cilantro pesto on there. And then put some more olive oil on top. Not Timona, Ramona. Wait a minute. We used to live Ramona, not T-Mona. Okay, you used to live in Ramona. And I drove a Shirley Temple car. A Shirley Temple car? Onion, mushrooms, tomato, bell pepper, steak. You're my kind of woman, Carol. I'll be over. Let me know when you're making it. What's a Shirley Temple car? You mean one of Shirley Temple's cars you drove? I just saw a couple pictures that I've never seen of her before. Really cute pictures. Yeah, they're the best if you do marinate it for hours, isn't it, Carol? It had a big red cherry on top? I mean, I've heard of a Shirley Temple drink. I used to get those all the time with the cherry. Remember, the girls had the Shirley Temple and the guys had the Roy Rogers. I remember that. I decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to go up in my craft room earlier the next few nights because I forgot that party's next week, you guys. It's next week. So I got to get that shirt fixed. Got to get everything ready because I'm spending the night at Jason's. I'm not going to dare drive after because I'm sure a lot of people will be there till late. So I got to get stuff ready to take to spend the night. Get my clothes ready. And then in a couple weeks, when we get into October, I'm going to start taking all this down and start putting up, you know what, you know. Just because, you guys, it's taking me so long now. Do you find that it takes you a long time to get things done now than it used to? When I was younger, I don't know. I've told you this before and I still can't figure it out. I really can't. I have the same amount of hours in the day as I always have. I've always had 24 hours. Nothing's changed. Nothing has changed. Still 24 hours. But it takes me so much longer to get things done now. And I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. But all that to say, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to start going up in the craft room at night instead of sitting down here watching TV. I'm going to go up about an hour to an hour and a half before I normally would. And try to get some more things done while I'm up there. I was a San Diego sheriff deputy. Were you really, Zell? And the cars are green and white with the red lights on top. And we're called Shirley Temple cars. Oh, how cute. Really? Are the cop cars green and white? Why did I not ever notice that? My son graduated from San Diego, my oldest son graduated from San Diego State. Actually, I was in San Diego, was it last year when the boys and I went down to Little Italy? Did you ever used to go to Little Italy, Zelda? Are you still in San Diego? So that's what you call the cop car. So then would the cars be here because they're black and white? It could be like a sundae. Get it? The black would be the chocolate, the white, the vanilla, and then the light on top, the cherry. That barbecue Florida talks about, they had creme brulee. They had creme brulee on the barbecue? Well, I guess well, how would you do that? Don't you have to put it in a water bath? Oh, my granddaughter makes the best creme brulee. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm telling you, that creme brulee is so, it is the creamiest, silkiest with that hard shell on top. You grabbed the Academy in 1974, moved to Oregon in 84. Oh, at Jason's, yes. My cousin was the mayor of Salem, Zelda, for years. No, on the watermelon, I just grilled the watermelon with a tiny little bit of olive oil just to kind of coat it. Not a lot, just very little. And then when it comes out, you can put a little bit of salt because the salt really sweetens it. But the romaine lettuce, Jeremy taught me that. And you put the olive oil and you put salt and pepper and you just put it on the grill. He didn't wrap it. Because I remember I'm sure he didn't wrap it. I know he didn't. I'm almost positive. But now I'm second guessing myself. But I don't think he did. I don't. And you don't leave it on there for a long, long time. But then you take it off, and then you can put Caesar dressing. You can make either homemade Caesar or just Caesar, you know. It is delicious. And then you put some Parmesan, or if you want Parmigiano Reggiano, if you want that on there. But you know, you could put the watermelon, once it's grilled, you could cut up the watermelon. Because have you ever had watermelon in your salad? You could do that. I freeze-dried some watermelon, didn't like it. You freeze-dried the watermelon? You know, I tried to dehydrate watermelon, and I didn't like it, so I didn't like it. I love dehydrated strawberries. I love dehydrated oranges, but what I do too with the oranges at Christmas time, well, you know, you can dehydrate those for decoration, but what I do, and I did a video on this, it's in one of my playlists. I think it's Cooking with Daveda or something. But I slice the orange, and then I put it in with a simple syrup. I make a simple syrup. And then I put the sliced oranges into the simple syrup. And then I put it in the dehydrator. They are so good. Oh my gosh, they're so good. It's cozy in the living room. Are you home? I bet your floor is sleeping. She might go live this weekend. I'm not sure, but she might. Do you guys have any plans for the weekend? Yeah, I know, Pet, my birthday party. People have been texting me going, we're getting excited for the party. I just talked to one of my friends tonight that I used to work with at Albertsons. We were talking about it. It's going to be fun. I got to get a lot of stuff off my phone so I have more memory. I'm freeze drying fruit and sour Skittles, and I donate to the search teams. I freeze dried 5 flats. Oh, that sounds good. Good for you, Zell. So do you like living in Oregon? At least you have seasons. Hey, Zell, did you find that some of the people from Oregon didn't care for people from California? Because that's what I experienced. Because when we were moving from where we lived before we bought here, we looked in Arizona, Oregon, and then obviously ended up here. But I didn't have a good experience. And keep in mind, my cousin had moved there years prior, many years prior. And she never, said anything. But what I encountered, nope, it wasn't a good experience. Did you ever have any kind of in the beginning when you first moved there? Any, what word am I trying to look for? Opposition from Oregonians that were natives to Oregon? My cousin, she loves, I mean, they've lived there most of, well, let's see, her oldest was probably 6 when they moved there, and he's 54 now. No, not what I experienced, Carol. No. You want me to tell you the story? You want me to tell you what happened? No, what I experienced, that doesn't mean that, obviously, I mean, a lot of people moved there, so, okay, this is what happened. We were at a hotel, and Mark and the kids were upstairs in the hotel room, and they had a continental breakfast, so I was going to go get, some stuff and take it back up to the room. So the manager was in there, when I walked in, and smiled, how are you, how you doing, this and that. And so he goes, are you guys on vacation? And I said, well, no, actually, I said, well, kind of a twofer. I said, we're kind of on vacation, but really we're looking to move. And he's smiling at me, oh, that's nice, and this and that and the other thing, just small talk. So he said, so where are you from? I didn't think anything of it. I said, California. I never saw a face turn so fast in my life. I'm not kidding. This guy was a big burly guy. I mean, he looked like he was a mountain man, you know what I mean? Like he cut logs. I mean, big guy. So help me God, this is exactly what he said to me. Now keep in mind, he was smiling and just small talk, chit chat, Soon as I said California, his face turned and he said, as far as I'm concerned, he said, every one of you Californians need to go back to your state and stay there and clean up your own mess instead of coming into our state and dirtying it up. You could have knocked me over with a feather. I was dumbfounded. I know my mouth had hung open. I know it did, because it took me so off guard when he said that to me. So just for a moment, I stood there because I was trying to process, thinking, did I just hear what I thought I heard? Well, then I got mad. And before he got done, when he said, clean up your own mess, he said, and something about keeping your guns with you. All on the news, all you're doing is killing each other. I said, whoa. I said, just a minute. I said, first off, I said, not every one of us pack a gun. Well, now I do. But I said, not all of us pack a gun and go shooting each other. I said, I think that's a pretty blanket statement. I said, California has some very nice people in it. Okay, now you got to keep in mind, this is back 31 years ago. It isn't now. Okay, I can understand how people feel about California to a degree now, because I don't even like what I see. But that's my point. Not everybody. You can't put them all in one neat little basket like they're all a certain way. I was ticked. I was so mad. I went upstairs and I said, we're not moving here. And Mark goes, what are you talking about? And I told him the experience I had. And he goes, Daveda, he goes, that could be just one person. So we go to the City of Commerce because I wanted to ask about the schools and everything else. I go in, and at this point, I'm ticked because of what he said, okay? And this is a couple hours later. So the lady at the desk, I said, I just have to say this. I said, because I really, to be honest, I can't believe what I heard earlier. I said, do Oregonians have a problem with Californians? She's in the City of Commerce. And she said, they do. And you could tell she wanted to think before she said it. And she said, they do. A lot of them do. And I said, why? I don't get it. And I said, is it every state? Are they that way with every state? She said, no. She said, primarily California. And I said, but I don't understand why. And she said, well, you're close to us, as far as states go. And she said, a lot of Californians are moving to Oregon, because at that time a lot were. And she said, and people don't like to see the way it's changing. And I told her, I said, I'm telling you, it really put a bad taste in my mouth. It really did. And she apologized, and she said, I'm sorry. And I said, well, it's not your fault. I said, I just wanted to know if I go to other places, or is this what we're going to get? And she said, well, and she was very honest with me, because I asked her, I wanted you to be honest, because I'm trying to figure this whole thing out. Well, anyway, after then what she said, I said, Mark, do you see now? I said, it isn't just one person. She works at the City of Commerce. And then we went to another place, and I can't remember if it was a restaurant that we went to. I can't remember where it was, but I got basically the same when they knew where we came from. I thought, no thanks. No, not going to do it. So after that, it just put such a bad taste in my mouth that I just didn't want to go there. But I'm glad that you didn't have that experience, Zelda. You came to look for homes and we were yelled at, told to go back to California. Oh, so you had that experience too. Someone threw fruit at our motorhome and broke our window. Yeah, I'm telling you. It is weird. But I will tell you, now it's not funny, haha, but many of my friends have moved to Tennessee, okay? Into Franklin. And that's where my son moved as well. Well, when my one friend moved there, she's lived there now 2 years. But when she first moved there, I asked her, because Oregon always sticks in my mind. Now, Arizona, at the time, was not that way. I didn't see any opposition from the people in Arizona to California. Didn't see it. So she was telling me when they moved there that she had to get her driver's license quick and to change her plates on her car because people were yelling and being rude about Californians and all this. Now, Josh, my son, I asked him, I said, are you having any kind of issues with, people from Tennessee having issues with people from California? And he said, I personally haven't had any. He goes, not to say that they wouldn't, depending where we go. But she did have a hard time at first with the people in Tennessee. Wanting, again, because California, they come in, they start taking jobs, and they feel like sometimes they're taking other people's jobs that live there. And because there are a lot of people from, especially in my area, that have moved to Tennessee. But yeah, so they did that to you, huh, Zell? So what did you do? How did you finally make friends with people there? Yes, they did say that even then, Zelda, that when people come to California, it raises the prices of houses, the people are taking their jobs, and very territorial, yes. The kids were arrested for what was done. My husband was a high-profile top systems engineer designing the ER and 9/11 systems. Wow, Zell, I'm impressed. That was 1983. Okay, Zell, and when we went there, Dacia was, I think it was 86, maybe 87 when we went there. Now they are welcoming the people from California. We changed our license plate ASAP. Yeah, that's what my girlfriend did in Tennessee. She said I had to. She said because I was getting stopped by the cops. She goes, and a lot of times I'm thinking, I haven't done anything. Why are you stopping me? And she goes, they were just rude, And she said, but once I changed the license plate, and then you get to know people, obviously, and start making friends. But initially, if they see where you're coming from, California, and I can only imagine the way California is right now and how it's looked at. And rightfully so in a lot of areas. I'm in a little kind of a cocoon, if you will, of South Orange County. It's not like LA and, East LA and Santa Ana and all those. It's very kind of tucked away. But they just kind of lump you all together, But yeah, I'll never forget that. From going to a smile and talking to me, boom, immediately he changed when he knew where I was from. Immediate. And it did not change back. He didn't, I'm sure he didn't even want me in his presence. I remember he said, Californians, all they do is steal and kill people. Take your guns and everything else back to California. I'm thinking, really? Unbelievable. It was something. Is your husband retired, Zell? Because you're not working anymore, are you? I know you do your job with your fruit and all that, but outside of the home? You arrived Christmas Eve when people from church were nasty and rude to us until they understood we were not taking anyone's jobs back then. Wow. That's crazy to think that even in church, on Christmas Eve, they were rude to you. Onward, Christian soldier. Wow. I'm going to have to ask Josh if he's gotten any backlash recently. Because when he moved there, he hasn't. But then again, they have a lot of friends there, and they already have the church where they're going and everything. And they went quite a few times before they moved there. So maybe that's why he's not really seeing it too much, you know? Yeah, but it's weird. Because, see, in California, well, I can only talk for myself, but as far as I know, no one looks at anyone if they come from another state. You know what I mean? They don't think anything. I mean, it's just, oh, you're here. I mean, it's not like it is in other states. That's weird. So you had the same experience I did. God, that was so weird. I never wanted to get out of a hotel so fast in my life. I was so ticked. Oh my gosh. And I kept thinking to myself, Daveda, just keep calm because you're just going to, in his mind, prove him right if you really wail into him. And I thought, just get that continental breakfast and get upstairs. I can't remember what place was there that Mark was looking at because he is a troubleshooter in the refineries. But I can't remember. There's not a refinery in Oregon, is there? I know that there is in Alaska, but that Cherry Point is in Alaska. But it had to be something to do with the refinery because he wouldn't have been able to go there if. Is there a refinery there, Zelda? It had to have been, but I don't remember. Maybe he was, because in Arizona, he was going to work at the power plant. There was a power plant. I don't know if it's still there, but there was a power plant. Maybe it was a power plant in Oregon. He retired from Motorola 10 years ago. We found a nice chunk who needed. Oh, church, you mean? Who needed my husband's expertise in designing and building a sound system at no cost. Oh, wow. Okay, so yeah, because I knew there had to have been, but I couldn't remember there had to have been for him to move there. Because in Arizona, it was a nuclear plant, if I'm not mistaken. But it might not even be running anymore because the nuclear plant that we had here, remember in San Diego, you would drive by it, Zelda, when you would go on the freeway, and it was on PCH, not PCH, well, yeah, PCH, but it was on the water because they have to be near the ocean. But remember the nuclear plant? It had those 3 white towers. Hi, Banks. It's San Onofre by us. That's cool that they created a position for him. Yeah, but San Onofre's closed down. But I don't know if the nuclear plant in Arizona was, I can't even remember the name of it. What do you mean, Banks family? What is it? What do you mean? family is nice? Yeah. I wonder why they keep San Onofre up like that. Oh yeah, it's Halloween, Halloween decorations, yeah. Um, well, I guess if they ever need to put it back up. And you go by Camp Pendleton too, to get from my house down to where you used to live. How long did you live in San Diego, Zell? You've been gone from there for a long time. Because if you left in 83, that's 40, what, 42 years ago? I show my face when I want, Banks. I have videos that I have, you can see my face. With AI, I'm not so ready to do that anymore, for sure. Sorry. I wonder if Florin, Jay, and Heather, they're sleeping? Probably, because it's what? 10 to 11, 11, 12, 12 to 1. So it's 1 o'clock there. And I said I was going to go at 10 to get into my craft room. That's your alarm clock? Okay. So you were in San Diego from 69 to 84? San Diego's changed too. A lot of homeless. When we went down to Little Italy, I think it was last year, Mother's Day, we went. Was it, or was it 2 years? You know, the time goes so fast, I lose track of it. But anyway, I could not get over how, well, I mean, in California, period. I mean, LA, it's awful. San Diego, there were parts of it that were just, was so sad. Really is sad. I love La Jolla. Who's listening for jail calls, Carol? Who's listening to jail calls? I don't know who you're talking about. Oh, I think I know what you mean. I can't. I just can't do it. Mm-hmm. San Onofre. Okay, Carol, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, San Onofre. Wish I could remember the name of the plant, though, that's in, it wasn't in Phoenix, I don't think. I can't remember, because we were looking in Scottsdale and in Chandler to live. But where the plant was, I remember he would have to drive a distance. But like I said, it could be no longer in existence too, just like San Onofre isn't up and running. Yeah, that could be what they're doing is they're listening to jail calls. Well, all right. I guess I'll go. It is 10. If I stick to my plan, I'll put them to, well, they're already asleep. And try to get a little bit of something done. I'll work on it tomorrow too. And Sunday. So thanks for coming in, guys. Just wanted to see how everybody was doing. Have a good rest of the night. Have a good weekend. Like I said, Flora might be live sometime this weekend. I'm not sure. Not completely sure, but she might be. And remember, the world's a better place because you're in it. Don't ever forget that. There's only one you. And you bring something to this world nobody else can. Yes, go to sleep, Zell. Night, guys.